If you're a content creator or an agency owner with a strong foreign accent and you don't know the fastest way to actually change it, you're in the right place. I spent $40,000 learning how to completely transform my own strong foreign accent at one of the best acting schools in the United States. Then I coached lots of clients through the same process. I've seen firsthand what actually works and what's a complete waste of your valuable time. Really, there are only 3 ways to change your accent. Each one has advantages and disadvantages depending on how serious you are about making both a fast and a meaningful change to your strong foreign accent. Because let's face it, you're here because you want to make more money. You're looking to build a personal brand and to get more American clients and also to charge those clients higher prices. If your strong accent doesn't change, however, the content and personal brand game is going to be a lot harder for you.
Learned that the hard way. I did 4 in a row Cash Cats episodes that bombed because English wasn't their first language. And then I was like, and we were looking at all these details. I was like, dude, no one can understand them. It's it.
To help them get US clients.
Speaking English without an accent, by far the number one.
All right, so what are those 3 options? Number 1 would be self-study. Number 2 would be one-on-one coaching. And number 3 would be group coaching. Let's look at self-study first. This means you're watching YouTube videos, using AI apps like Elsa or Bold Voice, reading books, or maybe even buying a video course. Contrary to what you might expect, I actually think self-study can be very effective. If you run an online business, you probably have to teach yourself a bunch of skills in the beginning. It definitely works, like 100%, because it's cheap and it's flexible. You're the one dictating the exact schedule, so it can be really, really great for building initial awareness. However, I will say that the fatal flaw of this approach is the feedback gap. Most people improve very little with self-study because a big part of the accent work is developing your hearing ability. Without feedback, it's way more difficult to develop this because most people end up thinking they've gotten better or that they're saying a sound correctly when that's not actually really the case. A sound may have improved marginally, but there's still something off about it and they just can't tell. And worse than that, sometimes people then reinforce a mistake by practicing it that specific way over and over and over again. And in addition to that, sometimes people focus on the wrong things as well. I had a client in the past that had spent so much time memorizing terminology. He was able to list all of the articulators, is what they're called, sound types like fricatives and whatnot. But guess what? His accent was still very strong and very bad. Like, I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm just saying that to let you know that all of those fancy words, like, it's good to know them, but they don't really move the needle. And I'll let you in on a little secret. I don't actually know all of the articulators either, because it clearly is not the thing that will get you to sounding the way I sound now. But you also just have no way of knowing which information to use and which to discard when you're learning on your own. Maybe with time you will realize what the most helpful information is for yourself, but that's the thing. It takes time and it'll prolong the process significantly. And that's also the problem with video courses. They cover lots of information, but it's general information, and you don't really know how much of it actually applies to you. Now, the last downside here is the self-discipline required to actually make any progress. It's very much like going to the gym. Most people sign up, they go once or twice, and then they never go again, and they complain about being out of shape. So that means on the accountability side, this is just not a very good option either. Now, I would recommend self-study if you're using it to supplement other methods. You just want to get your feet wet before investing in actual coaching. You're flat broke and can't afford coaching, then you don't really have another choice. Or you have plenty of time to improve. You don't really have to get meaningful results in a shorter time frame. All right, let's look at number 2, one-on-one coaching. This is obviously working with a coach like myself directly. You get personalized feedback and custom tailored coaching for exactly your situation. You get corrections in real time based on your unique patterns. The major upside of this is it's completely personalized. Every minute of this is about your needs. You will make much, much faster progress because you're not wasting time on things you already do well. You get real-time feedback loops, which means mistakes are caught instantly. And in terms of accountability, this is a much stronger option than self-study because you have appointments that you paid for and that you need to, or should show up for. You are literally more invested in making this happen. Now, I know what you might be thinking. This guy's really trying to sell me on one-on-one coaching, but there actually are some downsides to one-on-one coaching as well. If you're working with somebody really good, it's going to be expensive. That should be pretty obvious. And don't be surprised, by the way, if your results aren't what you expected when you cheap out on coaching. So depending on your cash flow situation, that can add up quickly, of course. You're also dependent on the coach's availability. My calendar fills up. You might wait weeks for a slot. And overall, I would say one-on-one is so custom and like tailor-made that sometimes this can create a bit of an over-dependency on the coach as well, because people get a little too used to relying on the coach to get corrected, which is why in my one-on-one coaching, I place a very big emphasis on you being able to self-correct as quickly as possible. But even with those downsides, the reality is that this is a much, much more efficient vehicle to get you to your goals, especially if you're on a timeline and you're actually good at what you do, which means your business is earning money and you already have cash flow, so you want to invest in yourself to keep making more money and unlocking the US market without wasting lots of time, trial and error on self-study. The bottom line here is that one-on-one is the Ferrari of accent coaching pretty much. If you have the budget and you need fast results, it's great. I would say it's especially good for people that are advanced and have already worked on their accent a lot as well, and they want to reach that next level, and they need that kind of more individual attention too. Now let's look at option 3, which is group coaching. This is the one I'm actually personally the most excited about, and here's why. This is a cohort program where you would go through a structured curriculum with a group of your peers. You have weekly, or should have weekly, live group coaching calls as well as community support, and this will combine teaching, which is giving you information, as well as practice and feedback. So this, or basically a really big all-encompassing version of this, is exactly what I got at acting school for $40,000, combined with one-on-one coaching as well. The reason I like this one the most is because it really hits the sweet spot because of 5 reasons. Number 1, you get structure. Unlike self-study, you don't have to guess at what to work on, right? You have a clear curriculum, and in my case, I take you through my framework of understand, drill, and simulate. You have a coach guiding you through the exact steps that work. Again, no guessing what to do. Number 2 would be you get feedback. Again, unlike self-study, if the group program is structured correctly, you still get feedback. Specifically in my program, you get both real-time feedback during the group calls and you get asynchronous feedback between the calls as well. This means you don't reinforce bad habits in isolation, and you get course adjustments all along the way. And number 3 is it tends to be more affordable than one-on-one training. That should be pretty obvious. On the coach's side, doing one-on-one sessions is just a lot less scalable, and if they're very good, their time is going to and should be very valuable. Whereas if you're in a group program, you can pay a little less and still get lots of attention because of the inherent scalability. And number 4, which is my favorite, by the way, is you learn from watching others. And this is easily one of the biggest advantages in this. When the coach corrects someone else, you're learning too, not just about sound mechanics, but your literal hearing ability to pick up on mistakes gets better every time because you're in the room with 5 to 10 different accents, and this massively accelerates your pattern recognition ability. And yeah, there's actual research backing this up, by the way. A 2022 systematic review found strong evidence that observational learning, watching others get corrected, significantly improves motor skill acquisition. And accent work is a motor skill. Now, number 5 is it's best for accountability because it's a good kind of peer pressure in here. This is not something where it's just you and your coach. In one-on-one, it's kind of easier to reschedule and shelve a class for another day. In a cohort program, there's a set schedule, and there's an entire group of other people in the same program also looking to change their accents. And if you run a business, you're probably not the type to show up as the only person who didn't do the work. That combination will keep you way more accountable. So there's a lot more social pressure, which I think is often more powerful than just pure self-discipline. And finally, the best reason why I absolutely love group programs is the pressure testing angle on changing your accent. In a group setting, I'm going to pull you up on the virtual stage. You'll have to actively apply what you're learning in front of an audience. This means you're going to be a little nervous, a little jittery, and that's a good thing. Most people only practice in isolation, and they get up on a sales call or they sit in front of a camera and they realize they didn't build real skills. They built controlled environment skills that collapse under pressure. They've got some knowledge, they got some skills, yes, but not pressure-tested skills. So in my opinion, group coaching is best for content creators, agency owners, and course creators who have been stuck in self-study, and they know they need outside help. and they want to pressure test their skills and get plenty of feedback, and they're also able to commit themselves to an 8 to 10 week program to actually tackle this. Now, if you're watching this, you're probably in self-study mode right now. That's fine if you're okay with slow progress. But if you do want to make a real change to your accent with lots of feedback, pressure testing, and accountability, click on the link below to apply for a free accent strategy call where we'll take a close look at your accent and what the best options are for you specifically. If you want to keep taking it slowly, you can also join my free community as well. That's the second link in the description. Yeah, that's it for today's video, and I'll see you in the next one.
Oh, okay.